Today's session is going to be very basic. We are talking about just getting started with Canvas. Canvas is a learning management system that is available to our middle and high school teachers and students. You can do all kinds of things in Canvas, very similar to Google Classroom, except it's a little bit more powerful. Probably that's why we pay for that versus Google Classroom, which we do not have to pay for. But it can be your class calendar, it can be your class notifications, your updates, all of your assignments, your quizzes, your tests. You can post videos, so many things that you can do in the Canvas environment. So many that, again, there are way too many for us to cover, especially in an hour. And today we're just going to stick to the very basic, very beginnings of how do I get started? You know, if you've never used it before or you're just getting your feet wet, how do I do that? So the first thing is once you get into Canvas, and for those of you who have never used it before, the first thing you want to really do is set up your profile. When you log into Canvas, you're first going to be seeing your dashboard. And the dashboard is where you see your published courses and your unpublished courses. To go into your profile, you're going to click on the little headshot that says Account. And then we are going to select Profile. When you get into the profile, first thing you really should do is you should upload a picture. And you want to choose a picture that represents you. There are several ways that Canvas offers you to do this. You can upload a picture. Let's say you have a picture that you use for all of your, like your email and those things. You can upload it. You can choose whichever picture you want that you may have on your computer. You could actually take a picture and notice that it wants to use my camera. If I wanted to do that, I would say allow. And then I would take the picture. Or if you have a Gravatar account, you could actually go into your Gravatar account and select that. What I want to do is I'm just going to upload a picture that I have here. And I'm in a test account at the moment, so I didn't want to upload my picture. So I'm going to just upload one that I grabbed. Notice that when it comes in, it allows me to sort of do some adjustments if I need to, and then all I do is save. It should then now appear, let me refresh. There we go. Now my picture is there. Students will see that picture. In addition, I may want to edit my profile. If I click on Edit Profile, this is where I can type my biography. I can put whatever information I want my students to know about me in this biography. If I have a website for my class or classes, I can put the titles of the websites here and their URL. And then let me just type. And then you save. Everything seems to be a little slow today. And notice then that my biography is now there. Again, that was by clicking on the account, profile, edit profile. In addition, if we go to settings, so again, account, settings, we're going to see some different information. I want to point your attention to the bottom where it says feature options. These are some items that you can turn off and on just by clicking. And these are all really personal preference. The only one that we have turned on is the course setup tutorial, so that when you are new, it sort of guides you through what it is that you are doing. If you don't need that or don't want that, you can toggle it off and it will go away. Notice on the right side, it says ways to contact. This is how it will be presented to your students. And it says that my email address is in there. If I had other ways that I wanted them to contact me, I could put that there. Notice that at the moment, none of this can be edited. But if I click on Edit Settings, it allows me to change my language. So if I wanted to change the language of my Canvas, I could. Also the time zone, which we really wouldn't want to change, but it does give us that option. And where it says change password, our Google accounts are linked via our Canvas accounts are linked using our Google accounts. So changing the password doesn't do anything. So that is just something we need to just ignore. And if you made changes, you would update your settings. If not, you would just cancel and go back out. This is going to show registered services that you've used or any approved integrations that you are using. This one is a new account. I did set up the Google Drive just because I was using it a little bit, but it's very different from mine. Mine has a really long list. This one is a new account, you can tell. We'll go back to the dashboard. The dashboard is sort of your landing spot. And notice it shows published courses and unpublished courses. Right now, I don't have any unpublished courses. I do want to bring your attention to the 3 dots. If you wanted to change the color overlay, you can do so. Totally changes it. If you haven't uploaded a picture, and we'll see that when I create a new course here in a little bit, it would just be color. So some people like to just have them color coded, and they'll have blue for one subject, red for another. Again, it's a personal preference. The 3 dots over here on the right will show you the different dashboard views. Now again, because this is a new account, we're not going to see a lot of difference, but right now it's on the card view. That means that we will see these little thumbnails or cards. Recent activity would mean anything that I've done recently is going to be there. And if I say show more, it actually will list the items that I've worked on, tells me when I put them in there, or I could say show less again. If I go back to the card view and click, notice that I can turn off that color overlay. So if I don't want to have the color overlay on top of the picture that perhaps I want to bring into my course, I can remove that. If I wanted to come back, I can just click cover color overlay. When we look at your global navigation, and that's what this bar is called, your global navigation, I can minimize it if I want to by clicking the arrow in the bottom left, or I can leave it to where the words are visible. Courses, it's going to list the courses that are published and the current courses or all courses. Notice that I have a past enrollment, and it is listed at the below. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over into my Canvas. You hold with me for a second, please, just because I have a little bit more information so that I can show you. Again, if I go to courses, all courses, this will show any course that I've ever had anything to do with. You can see there are plenty. Shows my past enrollments. Notice that some of them are actually starred. They are starred because I want those to appear on my dashboard. So if I go back to my dashboard, I will only see the ones that were starred. And I do that to limit what I see. I may be in more courses, but at the moment, these would be the only ones that I would want to see. I notice my color overlay is on, so I'm going to turn that off. In addition, in the global navigation, we have the calendar. We're not going to go into the calendar today. That is one of the advanced topics that we'll be discussing a little bit tomorrow. You have your inbox. Again, that's your email. That will be something that we'll be discussing tomorrow's class. We have the Canvas Commons. Now, the Canvas Commons is a place where teachers can share the information that they've created. You can go out here and you can search for just about anything and find it. You might be able to look, maybe you're looking for some content on a particular subject. That is always there. And this information is put there for you to use. People will allow you to actually import their content into your classes. And again, that was the Canvas Commons. And then we have the help. The help is very important, and Canvas is very strong in their resources that they have and that they offer to us. When you click on the guides or the help, the first thing I see is search the Canvas guides. And I strongly recommend, if you are new at using Canvas, that you utilize those guides, because let me tell you, they have a guide for about anything that you want to do in Canvas. They have written guides, and they also offer videos. So if you're a visual person and you'd rather see it done instead of reading it and trying to follow, they do it. And they're really good about having great resources for us. Some other items that they've placed in there, they've got conference guides for remote classrooms. Ask your instructor a question. This will take us to the Boone County Schools website. They have a training portal that they have different training videos and courses out there that we can sign up for. And they even put out there some COVID-19 Canvas resources. Now, all of those are out there, all except for the Boone County. We put that there, but the rest of them are out there by Canvas. So these are information that they have created and they have placed there for you. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Again, this is sort of our landing place. This is where we are. Something that we need to understand about how our Canvas works. So our courses are synced with IC. So about August 1st, Canvas and all the district supported programs will be available for the teachers to use. Until then, you're saying, well, how can I work on my Canvas course if I don't have my IC course in here yet? So what you do as a teacher, you create what we consider your master courses. If you are a new teacher to Canvas, or you have a new class that you're getting into Canvas, probably what's going to happen is you're going to create a course this summer. You're going to start working in it and creating and getting it the way you want it to be. And then come about August 1st, when IC syncs up with Canvas, those IC courses are now going to populate, and they're going to be on your dashboard. Now you say, I've got my master with all my content, and I have my IC course, which I need to get the content into. And that's a very simple procedure. We just export from our master and import into the Canvas IC course. And then probably, if your course is not entirely created, you'll actually then be creating in the IC course as the school year continues and you add items. One thing that then you would need to do at the end of the semester, before that course disappears, because the course will disappear, you would need to then export from the IC course, put it back into your master course, so that anything that you've created throughout the year is now back in your master course. You have access to your master courses at all times. It's a manually created course, and you can get to those at any time of the school year. They are never taken from you. So that's just sort of a little bit of how it works. With each semester, your IC courses will sync up. At the end of the semester or the term, whatever the course may be, then they go away. The students are automatically enrolled. You don't have to worry about that. It's just all you need to worry about is how do I get my content in there. Notice when I'm here at the dashboard, over on the right side, it shows me a to-do, and it knows things that I've got created in my courses, and it's telling me these are some to-do things. Notice it says it's 10 points, it has no due date, and what might be some things coming up or some recent feedback. Notice we have a start a new course button. So if I need to start, I'm a brand new teacher to Canvas, I need to create my course. What I need to do is say, start a new course. Then I need to give it a name. So let's say that I am okay, so I named it Computer Lit Basics Master 2021. I put the school year on there so I can remember this is when I started this course. And this is my master. So this is my master. You can name that whatever makes sense to you. I also then will copy that and just paste it down here for the short name. That's just my preference. I leave it as private. I don't do anything here, and I create the course. Now it takes me directly into the modules of the course. A few things I want to point out. Notice that it says that we are unpublished. So if we wanted other people, like if we include another teacher on the course to help us sort of team create, I would need to publish it for that person to be able to see anything. We have some different options down through here. We'll talk about a couple of those in a little bit. And one thing I just saw that I did forget to tell you were about the notifications. So with the notifications in Canvas, you have your overall notifications and you have your course notifications. Your overall notifications are out here under Account Notifications. And notice that there are 4 items of how you can tell it what you want it to do. These are the different items, and if you hover, it will tell you exactly what that notification would be about. And I can just go over and click on whatever it is that I want, which of these options. Notify me right away, send me daily summary, send a weekly summary, or do not send anything. This controls your overall Canvas notifications. Now, if I go back to my dashboard, and notice that my course that I just created, it's not published, so it's showing up down here in my unpublished courses. So if I click on that and go back here, I also have a View Course Notifications. So this is where I could set the notifications up for this particular course. This is somewhat of a new feature for Canvas. It used to be that your notifications were for everything, but now they're giving us the option to go into different courses and change our notification settings. So just so that you are aware, and again, when you click, it'll let you choose the one that you want, and it's a personal preference of what you want to be notified. Any questions so far? No? Awesome. When you go into your course, notice we have a lot of options over here on the left. The very bottom one is Settings. When we go into settings, this is sort of what do I want my course to be? What do I want it to look like? And notice that it says the image, and this is talking about the little icon that's going to appear out on my dashboard for my course. And if I want to choose an image, I can upload one, and I'm just going to grab one here. And now when I go back, after saving all of my settings, when I go back, this will be the picture that will actually be with my class. Notice it has the name here. You can at any time change these names. These are the ones that when we created it, we typed them in, we named it, but what if I change my mind? Not a big deal. I can retype. Time zone, I don't do anything to the SIS. Again, it's a manually created. I leave it in the default term. I don't have to do anything with my start and end date because, again, this is my master. I want it to be available to me whenever I want it. In an IC course, those are all set up automatically with our terms and our semesters. So again, you do not need to do anything with your start and end dates. Let's see. We're just going to say update our course options. Tells me that it was successfully updated. I'm going to go back to my dashboard just so I can see what it now looks like. Again, the picture that I just uploaded appears and everything is good. Notice at the bottom of the icon, it says discussions and files. So those are just some little quick links. I think this one also has assignments. So as you're creating things to go into your class, those icons will appear for you. We do have a student view option. So if you would want to see, well, what's this going to look like to my students? You can click on the student view. However, if you have not published your course or published a page or an assignment within the course, the students will not see that. So that would mean that you could not see it when looking at student view. So you need to just keep that in mind that, yes, you want to see what the page is going to look like to the student, but if it's not published, student's not going to be able to see anything. When I start thinking about my Canvas courses, I always try to think, and I'm a very visual person, so I like to have an idea of what I want it to look like. The three main things that when you're getting started are modules, pages, and assignments. So modules are really a good way to set your course structure. Modules would be like your units, maybe unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, or it could be chapters 1, 2, 3 if you follow something in like a textbook orientation. However you have your course set, those would be your modules. Pages are items that we create that we would then place inside of those modules. Assignments would also go inside of those modules. So as you start thinking about your Canvas course, the structure is very important. I know when I first started using Canvas many, many years ago, and of course they've had a lot of improvements and updates and changes, but you know, I went in and I just started creating pages, and then it was like, oh wow, I was a little overwhelmed. Where is everything? So I quickly learned that I need to have an idea of what I want it to look like for my students, and then I can come in here and kind of follow that structure. Notice that there is a syllabus option. So Canvas will actually create a syllabus for you, as you add assignments and documents and whatever it might be, it will actually add them to this course summary page. If you want to use this syllabus, you can, but you don't have to. Okay. If you have your own syllabus that you already have typed up and you want to use that, then you can turn this syllabus off. If we go back to settings in our course and we go to navigation. Navigation is basically saying which of these options that I'm now moving my cursor over, which of those options do I want to make available in my course? Let's say I don't want this one to be, so I can disable it. Okay, so disable. When I disable, notice it puts it at the bottom. Okay, I'm not going to use badges, so I can, and actually I can drag and drop like I did with that one. If there are items that I just don't want students to see, then I can remove it. And as I just did, I moved the syllabus. I didn't have to disable it. Once I drug it down here, it automatically disabled it. Now, if I want to bring it back up, I can do so. But again, this is the course navigation. These are what the students will see when they're in your course. This is a personal preference, what you want your students to see, what you don't want them to see. Notice that some of them have the little eyeball with the line through them, and that means that there's no content there, so they wouldn't be visible to the students, even though I still have it there in the area that says it should be visible to the students. It's just telling me that it currently is not visible because it's empty. Nothing is there. Some feature options. These are items, again, that you can go through and you can turn them off and on. Notice that these are forced on by the district. You do have some that you have the option of turning on or leaving off. And let's go back to modules. All right, so let's say that I'm just, for the real quick purposes of today, we're going to just create a couple of modules. I'm going to do that by clicking the plus module. I'm going to give it a name, and I'm just going to say Unit 1. Now, I could lock it, and I could set a time, a date, and a time for when it's locked until then, if I wanted to do that. Just add the module. It adds the module, and now it gives me an area where if I wanted, I could drag and drop files in there, or I could choose files. I'm going to go ahead and do another module. Notice when I do Unit 2, Unit 2 says add prerequisite. So what I could do is I could say, well, you can't get to Unit 2 until you complete Unit 1. Add the module. Notice when I do that, that it now tells me that there's a prerequisite for this unit, and the prerequisite is Unit 1. That means that students cannot do anything in Unit 2 until they have completed everything in Unit 1. Gives us the option of common favorites. If you remember a while ago, we went into the commons, and there's a way that you can save favorites, and they would appear here. Then if I want to do something with this module, so let's say I want to edit that, which means I want to maybe change the name. Maybe I wanted to say one. Okay, 1A, and then I could update it. If I want to move content, if I want to move that module, if I want to just delete the module, All of those are my options. Okay, question?
The question was, would adding the prerequisite mess up students that start after Unit 1? So what do you happen to do if a student joins and you're in Unit 4?
Good question. Yes, you know what? And I'm not sure about that answer because I've not been in a classroom situation where I've gotten to use that. But if you will send me an email, I will find that answer and I will get that answer to you. Good question, though. I like your thinking. Okay, so notice that it says this module is not published. Neither one of them are published. I'm going to go ahead and click that and make sure that they're published. If I wanted to add something into the module, I could do that by clicking on the plus, and then I'm sitting on the plus of the Unit 1. And notice that these are the options that I could add. An assignment, a quiz, I could put a file, a page, a discussion, a text header, an external URL, or a tool. Those are all of our options. We're not going to do anything at the moment, but that is what we can do when we are in the module. Now, that's basically how you work with modules. Let's look at pages. Pages are very different. Let's say that I want to have a welcome page for my students. I want them to come, the very first thing they see is this really happy-go-lucky page. I have to create that page. And when I do, I have to give it a name. And then this area is called the RCE, the Rich Content Editor. This is where I would type the information that I want in or on this page. It has a lot of the basic formattings, your bold, italics, underlines, your formatting. You can change font size, but it also has where I could add a table. I could insert or edit media. I could link to a URL. I could remove that link. I could embed an image. Lots of different items for you math teachers. Insert math equations, record, upload media, and Khan Academy, and then more external tools. So I could actually bring something in from one of these tools. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, welcome to Computer Lit Basics. And then let's get started. So what I want to do is, let's say I wanted to have just a welcome different note here. I could link to that. If I highlight it, I could actually link a URL there if I wanted. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to save and publish this page. And you can see what it looks like at the moment. It's very plain, very straightforward. When I go to my pages, it's the only one I have. I can click it here, which will bring me back to this window, which will allow me to go back in and edit if I want to. So let's say that with this one, I am not going to use the syllabus that is built in. I want to use a syllabus that I have already created, and I'm just going to link to it. So I could actually then just link, and I'm just going to grab a link. I don't even really know what this link is to, but I'm just going to grab a link and say link to the URL, and then I insert the link. Now, It changed colors, it underlined it. Again, now when I save, it's now going to be a hyperlink and will go into the document that I linked. I'm going to go back to my dashboard and I'm going to publish my course. It's now up here in my published courses. And I want to see what my student view looks like at the moment. So the student view takes some defaults into the module view, and they just see that I've created 2 modules. If I click on pages, they would see the welcome page and they could click on it, and then they could find the syllabus. But let's say I really don't like the way that they're going to the modules, and I'm going to leave my student view. And remember, I could only see that because I was published. So let's say that I really want them to go to my welcome page first. I don't want them to go into the modules first. So when I'm on my page, notice that I can say use as the front page. And I got there by clicking on the 3 dots while I'm on my page. Now, again, if I had more than one page, I could also go to the side here and I have the same option. So I can say use as a front page. Notice it now says that that's my front page, meaning that that's the entry page to my course. So let's go back to the home. Let's do student view. Okay. We were having some trouble earlier with it not wanting to take changes that we were making, and it looks like it's doing the same thing.
It's kind of delayed.
It's kind of delayed. This is my front page, so it should be when a student goes in with the view, it should take them to that page. For some reason, it's not cooperating with us today. But that's what should be happening. And again, those things happen, right? So we now have a front page where we're welcoming. We now want to think about assignments. So remember I told you that you could create your assignments in your underneath your modules. Again, it's a personal preference how you do it. I tend to always do my assignments under assignments, and they will appear because I tell them where I want it to go. Some things that you can do when you're in assignments is you can create assignment groups. Let's say that we have projects. And it always will have an assignment one. That's the default for Canvas. So that one will always be there. If you want to edit or delete that one, you can if you don't want to have that. And let's do another one and say quizzes. So now we have 3 assignment groups. I can, again, by clicking on the 3 dots, I can assign group weights to those groups. If I click that and I check this box, notice that now it gives me an option of how do I want those to weigh. You know, and I can type in, let's say I want my assignments to only be 20%, projects are going to be 50%, and quizzes are going to be 30%, and I save that. Notice that it actually will put that information here for me to quickly see that. If at any time I want to change that, all I have to do is go back in. I can remove them. Actually, if I remove this, just that check mark, it will remove them. And if I save it, now they're gone. All right, so if I want to create an assignment, and I wanted to go into my assignment group, I can click the Add Assignment to Assignment Group button. It's an assignment, and we're going to call it I can give it a due date. I could actually give it a time if I wanted. I can assign points. If I wanted to sync it to Infinite Campus, which is grade passback, I could. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. And then I could say more options, or I could save and publish it there. But I like to do the more options because it brings me directly into my edit screen. Again, you see the points. It's in the assignment group. Now, if I change my mind and I wanted to go in projects or quizzes of different groups, I can change that. I can tell it how I want my grades to be displayed, what kind of submission we're going to have, whether it's going to be an online and on paper, whatever it is, and if it's a group assignment, peer reviews, am I going to assign it to everyone? What's the due date and when is it available? So if I don't want the students to be able to see it early, I can put a date in there that will limit them getting to it early. Or if it's something that you don't want them to see until a certain day, then just don't publish it until you get close to that day. Again, that's a personal preference. So let's say this is a Google Drive overview and I just want to bring in something that I have in my Google Drive. This will bring it in, and the good thing about using it this way, and the first time you do it, it's going to need to authorize. So it's going to ask for permission to go to your Google Drive. Okay. Looks like we're struggling a little bit here today. Let's try that again.
Just so you know, it's 1:45.
Okay, thank you. Let's try it again. There we're moving. Let's just say I want the students to see this overview of sharing files. I can embed it, or I could just put the link in my description. If I embed it, it's going to look like this. So it's just taken my document and placed it in the rich content editor. Again, I did that by more external tools and the Google Apps. Now, if I decide that I don't really want it to be that way, I could say, you know, I don't want that. I could, or let's just do something else. Let's just go below that one. And let's save this one. Save and publish. All right, so we saved it and we published it.
Julie has provided a tip.
Mm-hmm.
Julie says, if you're flexible with students turning in work, I put in a due date, but I set the open date until the end of the quarter or term. That way, if students are missing work or late with work, they don't have to constantly go back and reopen the assignments for the students.
Yes, good tip, good practice. Thank you, Julie. Okay, so now if I go to my assignments, under my assignments, I have my Google Drive overview. If at any point I want to edit, move, let's say I want to move that, I decide I don't want it to be in Google Drive overview, I can change it to a different group. It will move it for me. That is very basic. Let's do another one real quick. If I save and publish it right away, it brings me to this screen. If I want to edit, I have to go in and actually edit this way. That's why I like to do the more options, because it takes me directly into this. Now, one thing that you can also do here in this window, if you have a document or you've typed something up, you can also just copy from that, bring it over and paste. So very easy. If you want to embed an image, notice it gives us several options. It's going to be a course file and I can upload. So if I wanted to bring something else in, now that comes in very large, and notice that it's very small working. So if you grab this area here, it allows you to make your working space a little bigger. If I drag, and I can resize that image. If I wanted that image to have a link, I could. Notice that we can drop down our links over here. So let's say, just for purposes of today, and we would never link it this way, but let's say I have an image and I want to link that so that when they click that image, it's going to take them to this assignment. So I can click this and I can do Google Drive overview. So now what's going to happen, let's save. And when I click it, it would take them to the Google Drive overview. So that's just one way that you can insert a picture and link to that picture. Let's see. Any other questions? Mm-hmm. Again, this was very basic. How do I get started? The main thing is getting your content and getting your pages, your assignments, your modules, however it is you're going to create it, is getting everything set up. I do want to show you that when you go to the Boone County School bookmark and you go to the Teaching with Technology link, we have a Canvas course. Come on, everything low. We have a Canvas course called Growing with Canvas. Canvas came out with a training course, and they have given all of their schools the rights to go in and customize that for their districts. I have done that for each of our buildings. So if you click on Growing with Canvas course, you will notice that each of our middle school, high schools have a link. When you click on that, you will be admitted and enrolled into a course. It is called the Growing with Canvas course, and it is it covers everything. And once you get into it, it will let me just go back here. Boy, things are really slow here. Sorry. Like if I go into the Growing with Canvas course, again, this was created by Canvas, but notice how they have about everything you could want to welcome, reviewing, understanding course design, using Canvas in a classroom, talks about your dashboard, your profiles. This will go into a lot more detail. It's at your own pace. There are videos and they're very short videos. I think the most might be like a 4-minute. And all of these are modules set up that you have to do in order. The only one that is not in order, that you don't have to complete the ones, there's no prerequisite, is the Harvesting the Boone County Way. And that will have some information in there that's just pertinent to the Boone County teachers in the Boone County district. I strongly suggest that you go through this course if you have not already, because it's a lot more detailed than what we can do in a session like today. But again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, reach out to me. I am the middle school, high school technology resource teacher. If I don't know the answer, I will find the answer for you. One last bit of housekeeping is we would appreciate it if you would complete the evaluation. This also makes sure that you will receive your certificate of attendance for today. Kyle and I'll stick around for a few minutes. It's 1:53. We'll be here for a few minutes. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to let us know. And I thank you for your attendance today.